because we'll just edit like out the first few seconds or whatever, right?
Yeah, no, that's not how I'm gonna do it.
So the good news is I don't need to worry about my face when I say this, so I'm just going to say it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sister City Committee podcast. This is our first. This is the first one of the year. I mean, we're 2 weeks into the year, right? Or we're a
10
week
days,
into the year,
yeah.
10 days into the year.
Yeah.
But it's our first podcast since season 0. You know, the little test run that we did. If this is your first time listening in, welcome. Happy New Year. Uh,
Happy New Year.
yeah, it's been a great. Well, for me, it's been decent. It's been bearable. It's been a bearable 10 days to my New Year. We watched a movie. Me and Margaret. We watched like a Studio Ghibli film. We watched some wrestling. We
Which
ordered.
one?
I couldn't tell you which one exactly we watched because we've watched about 5 of them in the last week. In the last 10 days, we've watched 5 Studio Ghibli films. Um, we've just
Wow.
been on like a Studio Ghibli run, I guess.
That's nice, though. That's a good way to start the new year, honestly.
Yeah, so then we ordered like some Japanese takeaway. We both ordered the same thing. We just got like a katsu curry each.
Fucking weebs. I'm sorry. Yes. No, it's beautiful. This is
um,
beautiful.
I'm sitting there eating it, and then within just minutes, suddenly all of these symptoms just took over my body. My body felt freezing cold. I had like 3 blankets on me in the end because Margaret was treating me like a baby. Not in a mean way, but like she was like
Aw.
she put like 3 blankets on me. She got me a bottle of water, and she said that I was boiling hot.
Oof.
She used the last COVID test on herself, and she said that she showed up negative, so she carried on going to work and stuff. She ordered me some like special one that you're supposed to use if you've got symptoms, because there's one that you're supposed to take if you haven't got symptoms, and there's one that you're supposed to take
Hmm.
if you have got the symptoms. So she ordered some special one that came in the post. I did that, sent it off. I
Oh,
just
jeez.
had a horrible cold,
Huh.
flu, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I will roll
Jesus.
back a little bit because you said which Studio Ghibli film I watched. I can't tell you specifically which one I watched, but I will tell you all of the ones that we've watched in the last couple of days.
Okay.
So we watched Kiki's Delivery Service,
I love that
um,
one so much.
Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, Whisper of the Heart, and Arrietty. One that I've got no interest in because I've watched it before and I wasn't crazy about it is Porco Rosso. Wasn't a fan.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something like My Neighbor Totoro,
No, that's a
and
banger.
then I was gonna have to punch you.
No, we're gonna. Oh, another one that we're gonna rewatch is Ponyo. So we've planned like we're gonna watch Ponyo,
Okay.
The Cat Returns, Castle in the Sky, probably Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
there's two that I really want to watch, but they're not on Netflix. Grave of the Fireflies and something else, like two really depressing ones that I want to
I
watch.
was gonna say, isn't Grave of the Fireflies like God?
Yeah, I've heard that they're like Grave of the Fireflies, and there's another one, but I can't think of the name right now. But I heard that those two films are just fucking mega depressing. And
I want to know what the other one is.
oh, so this is called In This Corner of the World.
Okay.
Um, it's a beautiful movie about a girl in Japan during World War II who loves to draw, but we all know how it ends. Dot dot dot. Much
Okay.
lighter than Grave of the Fireflies, though. So I want to watch that one plus Grave of the Fireflies. I'm sure I'm
Uh,
going to sound real manly right now, but like, out of the 5 that
mhm.
we've already watched, I already got teary eyed during all 5 of those. And some of those
Oh,
aren't even sad films, but it's just like I watch it and I'll be like, "Aw," because I get really attached to the characters. Um, but
I
anyway,
don't.
moving on.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't guessed already, we're doing a podcast. That's what we're doing this year. It's the new year.
Yeah.
We're 10 days in. We are going to be watching 4 movies a month for the next 12 months. And then we're going to be doing, like a little podcast, a little review on each movie as we watch them. And it will be every other week, you'll get 2 uploads. Person in the future, right now it's the 10th of January. We're 10 days into the new year. Um, put in the comments how your year's been so far. We have no idea when this video is going to go up, but
Yeah. No. Okay. So, because the idea is to do like themes every month, and I had drafted calendars, but I mean, you got sick, I got sick. It was a mess, I think, honestly. I mean, it's been a good start to the year, but it's been a little less structured than I foresaw it to be, which is fine, and I need to learn how to roll with that. but we're hoping that it will be much more scheduled and routine.
Yeah, and I mean,
Uh,
even though we both got sick, we still
yeah.
watched the two movies we said we was going to watch in the
Yes.
week.
We made very we made strides to connect and do this.
Yeah, we got it done.
Even though we even at times got a little irritated with each other about it, but that's okay. We're here now and I feel good about it. When we went through the list and I had you highlight the movies that you'd seen, it was like 4 out of 48, which
Yeah,
is like
it's yeah. I've watched 11 films out of the 48 that we're going to be doing. So
I was sort of anxious about doing this just because I don't know, I have that awful hipster movie taste.
I
Um,
don't think for a minute that it's awful with what you've shown me so far. Like,
I
I
hope
think
not.
that it's just that I'm quite simple with the movies that I watch. I just watch the mainstream stuff that's shoved in my face. That's not to say that I think anything hipster would be bad. The stuff that you've shown me, I've really enjoyed. Like, we've watched the two films with Jim Cummings in, which I never even heard of him, or no, I would have never known about those movies. They were, to me, I don't know if the word's hipster or not, but like they were just I wouldn't have known about them if you didn't tell me. They were
Right.
off brand for me, you know, but I fucking loved them. They were really good. And then another one that we've just recently watched, which we'll be talking about in the next podcast, is Punch Drunk Love. Again, I never even knew about that movie, even though it's got Adam Sandler as the main person in it. Never even heard of that movie, but it was so good. Not for a minute bad. I was drawn into that movie the whole way through, and I didn't once think I don't want to be watching this. You know,
That's a huge relief.
I don't know a lot of the films that you've put on here, but I don't think any of them are going to be bad.
Okay.
Um,
I hope not.
so the theme for this month, as I mentioned, we watched Punch Drunk Love. That's going to be next week, right? The theme for this month, we're in January, is unconventional romance, right? And what we did watch, which we will be talking about today briefly, um, we watched Deadpool 2 as our first film of the year, which is a family film, right?
Yeah, it's a family film. That's right. That's right. It's a family film.
You know,
It's
Deadpool 2. If
wholesome.
you ever want to sit down with your wife and kids, watch a film, Deadpool 2 is the one to choose.
I worry about that because I sort of I've lamented in the past being introduced to certain things maybe at too young of an age. My parents divorced when I was like 2 years old, and so my dad would have me on the weekends when my mom would work, and he didn't really want to have to pause his social life. And so we would go see stuff like Tales from the Hood, and which traumatized me. I remember, and I watch it now, and I still get a little uneasy. But then he took me to see From Dusk Till Dawn. Have you seen From Dusk Till Dawn? It's
I don't. Is
there's
I'm gonna. Oh wow! It's got Quentin in it. Is it a Quentin
yeah.
film? Is it like? Is it one of his
He wrote
productions?
it. He wrote it, and Robert Rodriguez directed it.
Is this as well, by any chance? And this is gonna be a real shot in the dark.
Mhm.
Is this the film where a guy has a gun for a penis?
Yeah, it is.
Ah,
It
see, I
is.
saw
Yeah.
that a long time ago, and that's all I remember from that film. But yeah, I know of the
Yeah.
film.
It's Tom Savini is Sex Machine. He has a little
Yeah, he's sitting there in a chair and he
Yeah.
whips his cock out or something, and it's a gun.
Yep. So and there's a lot of like boobs and blood in that movie.
Yeah, I do.
And
Yeah.
I think I remember going to see it in the theater when I was like 7 years old.
Oh,
And
nice.
rewatching it, I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with my father? But the funny thing is, and I don't know if this just speaks to like our culture or what, but I remember that he would put a napkin over my eyes for all the parts where there were boobs, but then all the gore, he just did not give a and so, I mean, I remember all that stuff really explicitly, and I don't know if that's the reason why I have such a huge like interest in horror movies now and gore movies, but in Deadpool 2, the part that stands out is the part where Juggernaut rips him in half.
Oh,
I mean, I guess the thing is that like I think that in America at least there's a big problem with like we have to be really scared of boobs and just natural nudity. Like if as long as if it's not sexual, which I mean from Dusk Till Dawn it was, sexual I guess, but like just the idea of boobs existing, here it's like, oh my God. But violence it's like, yeehaw, let's do it. And I don't like that. Even though I love violent stuff, I just think that that's sort of backwards. I don't know. We don't need to go into that. There's no nudity in this film, is there? You see a dick and balls, maybe?
no,
Oh
there's
my
no
God.
nudity in this film. I can't remember any nudity in this. one bit. I know that
Okay.
there's sexual references, but there's no nudity because he talks about getting the strap on. Because
I
they
think
talk.
you can see his penis though.
Oh, when he's
After when
like when he's
growing his
what was
legs
it?
back.
Cock and shirt in it or
Yeah, short cock in it.
shirt cocking it? Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they literally fucking show you the scene where he does the. What's the name of the movie that he was copying when he flips his leg?
Does the legs
When he
basic instinct.
Oh, yeah, because the guy obviously says it's his basic instinct, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he does the scene from Basic Instinct, and he's got like these Winnie the Pooh looking legs,
Yeah.
and yeah, like you see his tiny dick there. But
Yeah. I think that's it.
other than that, there's no like adult body parts in
Yeah,
there.
I don't think so. I don't think so. God.
I think
Um.
that all you see is the CGI penis when he does the scene from
Yeah.
Basic Instincts. Let's get into the plot of the film.
The plot.
It is a family film. It's about family. At the start of the film, him and his girlfriend, they're on their however many year anniversary, 2 maybe. They're like, let's make a baby, and then she gets shot in the chest.
Yes, she dies.
He
Yeah.
tries to blow himself to smithereens, but he's Deadpool. Obviously, that's not going to work. Colossus comes, puts him in a bag, puts all of his body parts together, regenerates all of his body parts together or something, like a puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the rest of the film is about. I can't think of the kid's name. Do you know what the kid's name is?
Russell Collins.
Russell
Yeah.
Collins. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Russell. So yeah, the rest of the film is basically about the sort of friendship between Wade Wilson and Russell, right? That's what the rest of this film's really about. At the end of the day, I mean, there's Deadpool is trying to
I
build
feel
with
like
Russell.
yeah, I feel like it's him trying to prove that he's capable of that after Colossus put him in the bag and he wakes up at the fucking mansion. He's very begrudging about having to do things, I
Yeah,
think. And so that sort of seems to be his attitude,
yeah. He's
all
like he
along.
doesn't want to do it because he just wants to, and it's understandable. He just wants to be depressed and he wants to just give up because he lost the love of his life.
Yeah,
That's where that film starts. It starts with him blowing himself up because he lost the love of his life.
but he goes and he sees her
But he goes and he
a
sees
few
her when he
times.
blows himself
Yeah,
up. The
whenever
first time he
he
goes and sees her, and he tries to talk to her, and she just looks over, and I can't remember what it is that she says, but she says it like 3 times in the end.
like your heart isn't in the right place
Yeah,
or your
yeah,
heart
that's what
is
it
yeah.
was. Your heart's not in the right place, and he's confused by that the first time. The second time it happened is when he cracks his skull falling out of the prison cell, and he ends up smashing into the ice and then
Oh
sort of drowning.
God.
And then he goes and sees her again. That's the second time,
Yeah.
and she goes, "Your heart's not in the right place." And then I think he somewhat realizes at that point what she's meaning with it, because up until that point, he's trying to get Russell to just leave him alone. He's like, "Just fuck off, kid."
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
but then after that bit, he realizes what she was trying to say about your heart needs to be in the right place, and it's like what she's trying to say is what is she trying to say? Is she trying to just say like find happiness? Is that what she's trying to say there?
Um, I mean, yeah, I guess the idea is that he has, because the way they treat it is sort of odd, I guess. Like it's unfinished business, and he has like this mission that he has to complete almost, I mean, it's an atypical plot because most characters in situations like this aren't able to die and come back repeatedly.
Yeah,
And so it's like he keeps getting little bits and pieces, like we said,
yeah,
every time he visits her in the afterlife. And I think it really is just about doing the things that he's supposed to do or help the people he's supposed to. He has the ability to help while he's there because he still has a chance to make a difference. I think
yeah,
that's at its core, that's what it is, is that he's not a bad person. He's not, his only worth wasn't just being with her and getting to maybe start a family with her. It's other things too, but he didn't see that. And so it took this plot, the events in this film to go, okay, I will, maybe less begrudgingly stay and help out people and do nice things sort of
yeah.
in his own special way.
So the plot of the film is Deadpool wants to kill himself, can't kill himself, so ends up befriending some kid from New Zealand, right?
So, yeah.
Is it New Zealand, right? I think they say it during the film because at first I said Australian and I felt really bad because later on in the film someone says New Zealand, and they hate it when they get compared to each other, right? Or not?
Well, yeah, so like I guess the thing we should discuss is like who's the bad guy in the movie? Who are the bad guys?
Who's the bad guy? There is only one bad guy in that film.
Yes.
Once you've watched the whole film, there is only
Yes.
one bad guy in that film, and it's the guy who runs the kids' school.
It's a journey because you start with, thinking that Cable is this asshole bad guy, and then you learn his backstory. And then you're like, well, now Fire Fist, awful.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, no, we can change that. And then we go, okay, it's this person that we were introduced to in the very beginning, whenever we first met Russell.
Yeah.
And what were some of the things he was calling his staff that was so fucking funny? Jared Kushner. He said that the guy had secret sex lips.
Oh, you're talking about Deadpool when he was talking to
Yeah.
Russell, and he was like, "Oh, is it Jared Kushner over there, or is it Secret Sex Lips?"
Yeah. Like all
And
the
then the
staff
kid
at
like
that orphanage.
nods, and then he does the bit where he's like, "1 moment, it only takes 1 moment," and then does the speech, and then shoots him in the head.
Yes, and I love that so much. So it's sort of for being a family film. It's a very unconventional way. I get not very unconventional, but it's for what it is. It's an unconventional way to tell the story, but it works. And so we follow them. He starts, I guess, sort of a semblance of X-Force, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Which lasts for all of 5 minutes, right? That's like a
which
5
is
minute scene.
that's a wonderful.
We get to see
Oh,
Brad Pitt's
God.
face for all of like 30 seconds as he gets electrocuted.
Yes, which I didn't know. Like when I saw it, I remember seeing him and I was like, oh, did they just use like a picture, like in the first one, how they said Hugh Jackman or whatever was in it, but it was just staple like People magazine cover or whatever to his face when he took the mask off, right? Or something
Oh,
like
right.
that. I don't fucking remember. So I thought maybe Brad Pitt wasn't actually there ever, but then in the special features whenever I bought it on Vudu, like they show him filming his part for it. I was like, what? I don't know. I just thought that was funny. Just the whole thing there was just like a anticlimactic, like I don't know. It's built up and then that's the joke, and it's so fucking funny.
And it's like,
But
there is actually a real X-Force, isn't there, as well? So
yeah.
when they're building the X-Force, or not building the X-Force, because he doesn't name them until they're in a plane. But when he's
Yeah.
building the team and puts it together, and then he stands there and he's like, "Oh, we're going to be called the X-Force," that sort of clicks slightly because as a comic fan, like you go, "Oh wow, the X-Force," this is cool. This is going to be the X-Force, and then they just all of them get obliterated, except for
Yes.
Domino.
So, which I mean, I was a little skeptical, I guess. I don't know why, because I like Zazie Beetz, the actress who played Domino, but I love. I haven't followed comic books for a long time, but I grew up with them. My dad collected comic books, and when I was in high school, there's a comic shop right across from my high school, and so at lunch, instead of buying lunch, I would just take my money and I'd go buy comic books and I'd sit and read them. And so I mean, this was during like I think I've talked to you about it a little bit. Uh, it was right when Civil War and all that stuff was coming out in the actual, in print. And they had like a Deadpool series, I think, and I read that. I think I have it. I have a lot of them somewhere. My dad had collected some of it, and then my father-in-law, who's extremely Christian and against cursing and anything bad, he had like special variant covers of Deadpool. And I was like, what?
Wow,
It sort of confused me.
Deadpool without the swearing.
No,
Christian
I think it
Deadpool.
was like his previous life.
Okay.
But so I was familiar, I loved Deadpool a lot. I think in there's a game that he was into. It was one of the X-Men games. It was the second one. Those
What,
they were
Wolverine
kind of
2?
did you ever play Marvel Ultimate Alliance?
Didn't play
Like
Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but I did look into it briefly because I remember back then I played like the X-Men version of this. There was an X-Men game where it's the exact same as what you're talking about.
yes.
And basically you could get all of the X-Men characters, and you could run a team of
Yeah.
4 of them. Was it? You run a
So
team of 4?
yes, so the one that I played was X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse.
Oh, that's the one I played.
Yes. Okay, I played the fuck out of that, and I want to say Deadpool made a cameo in it, and it was funny. I feel like, unless it was the other one,
I think I might have
but
also played X-Men Legends 1.
oh
I
no,
think I
you
played
could.
X-Men Legends 1 and 2. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, those were great. And yeah, and because I was so into those two, I tried to find other games like it, and I found Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but I was just like, I don't know if I really want to put money into it and play it, because thinking back on it, like as much as I loved it, whenever I thought of playing it again, I shuddered at the thought because it's so much effort training up all those characters.
Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot because I would do the same thing. I had a lot of fun with it though when I first played it. I remember I think I played it on like the PS2, the first one, and then I did get not I got Marvel Ultimate Alliance and I really enjoyed it actually. It was really good. But yeah, that was a tangent, but I remember yeah, Deadpool was in that one. So I think you could unlock him and actually play as him.
Ah,
Oh yeah,
okay,
and you could play as Professor X and so like he would like float around because I guess he would
yeah,
come out of his
with his
chair.
brain.
Because I just remember there's a part where you fight Deadpool in those games. In this movie, they reference a bad version, like a bad
Oh,
adaptation of
yeah,
Deadpool,
yeah. They mention
which
the.
I never saw.
Did you not? Did you not see that movie?
I didn't because it looked awful.
I
And
think
so
it
I
was
just
a
avoided it.
that was a Wolverine movie though, wasn't it? It wasn't the movie wasn't
Yeah.
called Deadpool. It was called. I think it was one of those the Wolverine movies or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it was. It was. But I like I knew I was such a big fan of Deadpool at the time and I was like, "Oh, ugh, this is awful." I was so mad, and then when I heard that Ryan Reynolds was going to be attached to Deadpool again, I got scared, and then when I realized that, they were actually going to do it right, it's been such a dream with these movies,
I
just on
remember
their own. God.
uh, back when that Wolverine movie came out, my dad was going through a phase where he was into pirating things. Uh,
Hmm.
he got like a pirated version of that Deadpool film before it was even released in cinemas or something, and was like, "Oh, watch this." So I watched it, and I don't think he. I'm sure he must not have watched it. He just sent it to me because he knew it would be something I'm into. So I watched it, and the bits that have got Deadpool in, you can see the ropes. You can see the ropes, like like the production.
Those unfinished
Yeah,
visual effects. I
yeah,
think
you
I
can.
remember that movie specifically actually making like there was a cut of that that made the rounds, and I think I saw some of that,
Yeah, that's the shit. I
and that's
watched
what
that the
made
whole way
me
through,
like,
and yeah, that was horrible. That was the movie itself isn't good, whether or not you watch the complete cut or not. It's not a good movie, and yeah, you get the scene in
yeah.
Deadpool 2 where he goes back and shoots himself in the head like multiple times.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, and that's I'm glad they were able to reference it, but now
There was
I
some awesome references at the end of the film, right? He referenced
oh yeah.
the terrible Green Lantern film was a reference in there as
Yeah.
well.
I never even tried watching that. I just don't like Green Lantern though to begin with, so that was never interesting to me.
I do like Green Lantern. I just, for
Really?
some reason, and this is weird for me, because I will go watch any film that has a superhero that I like, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I like Green Lantern, but for some strange reason, I had like a spidey sense that it wasn't going to be good, and I just never went and saw it. And then 2 weeks later, it was just terrible review after terrible review after just people freaking out over how bad it was, and I was just like, well, looks like I'm never seeing this, and I just haven't watched it. I've never watched that film. It's the only superhero film, I swear to God, that I could probably sit here and say I've never watched and never
Oh
had interest in
wow.
watching.
Hmm.
Because usually if you say, oh, this has got a superhero in it, I'll be like, cool. Touching more on the Deadpool film. I mean, we've
Yes,
spoken
please
about the
go back
plot.
to that.
Um,
Oh, that's why I haven't seen it you. Oh God.
do you think? Right, and I don't want to talk about every performance in this because I feel
Right.
like it was good. I feel
Yes.
so. Here's what we'll do. I can't even pick an answer to my own question. I'm going to ask you and see what you can think of, okay?
Okay, sure.
Do you think there was someone in that film that was bad?
Like in terms of just like they were, I
Like
didn't want
when
to
you
see
just
them. And
compare it to how everybody else did, you know? Do you think there is
okay.
anybody in that film that was just subpar?
I mean, I have an answer for that, but I don't like I didn't think this when I first saw it, but I thought this when we rewatched it recently. and I'm worried that it's tainted by stuff that I don't even give a fuck about. But um, Weasel, uh, who's the actor's name
Is the is
that
this the
played
guy that
him?
ran the pub, or was the
Yeah,
barkeeper? You didn't like him?
yes.
Okay.
Uh, And I want to say he went through some controversial shit lately, and I swear it has nothing to do with that. I think it's just that his voice really grated on me for some reason. I don't know if it's because I've seen. I feel like his personality, demeanor, voice, all that stuff is something that's replicated or was replicated quite a bit in a small section of comedy. Like that sort of, I don't know how to describe it. And maybe it's just like one other person that's like a clone of that guy, but I don't know. It was just sort of it wasn't as funny as I remember it being. And maybe he was supposed to be obnoxious. I don't know. I mean, I think that they portrayed him as very pathetic, but
I know I started my question with saying that I didn't have an answer to my own question, but as I was saying it out loud, I sort of had an answer pop into my head to what I would
mhm.
say if someone asked me that question. Your
Yeah.
answer is really good, actually. Weasel's not someone that. Yeah, the thing is, I guess. Well, I guess the thing is, you must be right because his acting was so bad that I just didn't think of him when I was. When I think of the film, I don't think of his character.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
guess what you've said must be a good enough answer, because if he made an impact, it would stick in my head. But I guess he didn't make an impact. Um,
Right.
yeah, I guess the scenes that you get with him are just him trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Every scene that you get with him is him trying to always have a funny quote, and some
Yeah.
and it wasn't always that funny whatever he was saying.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
but as I was saying the question out loud, I kind of thought there were scenes in that film where Russell didn't seem great.
Mm.
Um, I've, but like, but maybe he was. Maybe I'm just trying to pick out someone for an answer for the question. You know, maybe he was totally fine. Um, but it was just like sometimes I was just like, damn, this kid is so cringe. But I think that's how it's supposed to be played out, right?
I think so. It's also it's so fucking absurd. It's such an absurd premise, and I didn't find him annoying at the very least. Because I think I know what you're talking about though, just in terms of like maybe high level performance and acting. But I didn't think he was like awful. It was just like, oh, I'm glad that he got work though,
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm just like, yeah. Um, and then I feel like it's like a stepping stone, I guess, for that actor. I am fine. I don't want anyone else, I guess, in that role though. I couldn't really
Oh
think
no,
of anybody,
definitely. I
So
think he
yeah.
did that role perfectly. I think
Yeah.
I think to somewhat touch on what you just said about not being able to find someone that you think would fit in that role. A young Jonah Hill, when he did Superbad,
Oh
would have
god.
been good in that role.
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, oh god. I like Jonah Hill now, and I didn't really like him back in the
Did you not?
day. No, no,
All right.
I thought he was obnoxious. Um, but there's something he was in that I was like, hey, oh, I think it was Wolf of Wall Street. That's not even, that was so long ago, actually. Fuck.
And what
I
was
like
that film that
21 Jump Street. Jeez, huh?
what was the film that we watched recently that had Jonah Hill and Leonardo in it together when we watched films together? We watched. Oh no, no, no! This wasn't me and you at all. This was me and my wife. Don't Look Up has Jonah Hill
Oh,
and
he's in it?
Leonardo in it
Really?
as well. Yeah,
I know he was in it.
you not watched it yet?
No, I haven't. I was thinking about it. I was probably gonna watch it this week sometime just because I need movies to watch.
Has some really, I say some really big names, but like yeah, I think like the two main characters are Leonardo and Jennifer Lawrence, right? And
Yeah,
then
I don't know. She underwhelms me sometimes. I really like her in some roles, but then in other roles, I get really irritated by her. I don't know why. I don't know.
I am a big Jennifer Lawrence fan.
trying to think what it was I didn't like her in.
I don't like that this is the reason I like her, but the reason I like her is because she had all those, she had all that drama, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like she did good at coming out on top of it all. And when I see clips of her at like these celebrity meetups, she just seems funny and normalish rather than trying to be something that she's not.
Yeah.
And I think
Well,
that
it's to
that's
the
what I
point that
respect.
people give her shit. Like
Yeah,
they say that it's very I hate this is something I don't like about celebrity nonsense is like she is very down to earth, I guess maybe is what, a easy way of saying
I
it,
think
but
that's
like
that is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I just couldn't. Yeah, I
people
didn't word it that way.
people then criticize her for trying too hard to be down to earth,
There
and
ain't
I'm
no
like,
way you're
what the
trying to be
fuck are
hard
you
to be down
talking
to earth. That's
about?
bullshit. Not what you.
Okay,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? Here it is, and this is bad, and I'm sorry. I didn't like her in the X-Men movies.
Oh, oh, damn. Oh,
I
that's a
didn't.
shame. I thought she did really well.
Um, I think that I feel like she's more talented than what those movies gave her in that role,
All right.
and because like I said, like I really enjoyed her in Silver Linings Playbook, Winter's Bone. There's some of those movies from like that era. Like I couldn't finish Mother, but I mean she was great in that movie too. But I don't know. In the Hunger Games too. That's another one where like it was like very by the book acting, you
Let's
know.
rein it back in, all the way back in,
Yes.
all the way back in.
Yes.
Um, we're on performances. I think we've done performances. That was my main question because the thing is, I don't think it's worth going through everybody's performance in the film. I think that Ryan
No, I don't
Reynolds is a
think
good
so.
actor, and I think that he did justice to Deadpool when he played him. Both of the
Yes.
times that he's played it. Uh, Not ignoring the third time. That one doesn't
Oh wait,
exist.
hold on, but please, Josh Brolin. Let's discuss Josh Brolin.
You want to discuss
We
Josh
we
Brolin?
have to.
You
We
want to talk
have
about
to.
Thanos? Okay.
No. No. Okay. So Cable though, he's so good in that role.
He
He's
is.
so good in it. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
he is. He's
I
very
was
good
skeptical, but oh
at
my god.
being the sort of father figure that can't be bothered to put up with all the shit that Deadpool is his son giving him. Like that's the way I look at those two characters. I look at Cable as this as the father figure to Deadpool. As,
Yeah, I guess
and he's like
so.
he's just always sick of putting up with Deadpool's shit.
Like my favorite bit in it though, because kind of to bleed this into the script part is like I think that the stuff between them was some of the funniest stuff, and the bit that the running gag of Black Tom and calling Cable racist the whole time.
Yeah, he calls him racist the whole way through.
Oh my
Um,
god.
and the bit where he wants to change, I don't know if he says he wants to turn the music off or change the music. In the
Yeah.
car when they're in the taxi, uh, and Deadpool calls him out on it. He's like, "Let's not sugarcoat it. You might as well say it with an Indian accent."
Yeah. They did reference it, right? They referenced him being Thanos or
Yeah, they
whatever.
made the Deadpool makes the reference specifically.
Yes.
Um,
So,
onto like, and I want to talk a little bit when you say script. I want to say how much I love Deadpool for being how hard, like he's always breaking that third wall. It's like that third wall doesn't even exist when you're watching
fourth
Deadpool.
wall.
Fourth wall,
Yes.
sorry, not third. Fourth wall, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I want to talk about how Deadpool is always breaking that fourth wall.
Yep.
And it's just like how that fourth wall just doesn't even exist at some points. Like it's just he's he makes so many references to things outside of the film. He makes references to other movies. He makes references to he makes references to Frozen in this. He makes references to
Oh yeah.
Thanos in this. um,
I forgot about that joke.
you always
Yep.
get the scenes where you have Deadpool like deadpan look at the camera and say something, and
Yeah.
you know that he's talking to
Oh
you
man.
at that point. And it's just like that is the Deadpool character did justice to that. I know there's a lot of
Yes.
movies out there that break that fourth wall quite a lot, but I for one have always felt like Deadpool, from comics, is the one that breaks the
Yes.
fourth wall.
Yes.
Um, so
And
when you
that's yeah.
so when you get to see it done in the movie, and when it's done so well that he's always referencing other popular genres and stuff, it's so cool.
Yeah. Um Yeah, because it is. That's like one of the big things, I guess. Whenever they, anyone talks about Deadpool, like when they were talking about doing the adaptation. Because I don't even know if they did they even do anything like that. I mean, I don't. Again, I didn't see that movie that had Deadpool in it. Back in the Wolverine movie. I don't know if he had any characteristics of
He
that
didn't.
character.
I don't know if you saw it in the. You know, in Deadpool 2, like at the end where he goes and shoots him in the head, right? I don't
Yeah.
know if you saw, but the guy's his mouth is sewn shut.
Yeah.
That's how he is through the movie, basically.
Well,
So he has
because I
no
think there's like a
characteristics. He's literally
yeah.
such a shit character.
Ah, gosh. And actually, and the other thing that made me think of, and this is probably isn't a tangent we need to get off on, but I got confused with like the Avengers and so forth. I guess all the comic book movies now of like ultimate versions of the characters. Because I remember it was it an Ultimate Spider-Man? I used to read like I bought Ultimate Fantastic Four and Ultimate Spider-Man. I think in Ultimate Spider-Man they had Ultimate Deadpool. And he was still kind of funny, but he was mostly just very like he ran like a weird hunting humans thing, I want to say.
Oh,
Um but I didn't know if that was what that was supposed to be. Like he was supposed to be like the extreme version
oh,
of him in
maybe
in the I have no idea. I mean, again, I have no idea. I didn't really look into
you
it
could be
much,
right
but
there. Who knows?
um,
That would be something that I'd have to look at to understand more. But
yeah,
if that's the case, because another thing as well, they gave him like one. They gave him one blade, didn't they? In each hand. Or am I thinking of something
oh,
completely different here? I'm sure they gave Deadpool one Wolverine claw in each hand. In in the
I think I remember that. Like when I saw the bits that I saw, when I was trying to decide if I should avoid it or not. um, God, I should just look up a picture of it. Deadpool.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up a picture right now as well.
Oh
It
yeah,
really
they
is.
did. They gave him like the single thing. And, ugh, oh, this is the worst.
Is it? It's not even coming out of his hand, isn't it? Oh no, it is. It's coming out of the
It
middle
is,
knuckle.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think they gave him one Wolverine claw in both hands. Um,
Ah, so awful looking.
it really and like I don't think that's ever been a thing for Deadpool, as far as I know.
No, it's
Unless it
not.
was in this, unless it was in this Deadpool Ultimate thing that you mentioned.
No, it wasn't.
Okay,
No. Yeah, that's just you.
because I'm pretty sure the only person that has one claw that I know of that I can think of is like maybe is it X-21? Is that the name of the character? Wolverine's quote unquote
Uh,
daughter? Isn't
ooh, um,
what even? I've just googled X-21 and that's not what I thought it was at
yeah,
all.
I do not see any.
Uh, but it's like
Which one was that in? Was that is that a comic or
oh, it's
I don't know these
X-23.
things.
X-23 is who I'm
Oh,
trying to
oh,
think of,
oh,
not
okay, okay.
X-21. Yeah, she
I
had
see.
two claws. X-23 had two claws instead of three. That's the only
All
thing that
right.
I can think of um,
She does.
that is canon, you know.
Yeah. Um,
But that one
I
claw
don't.
that they gave Deadpool on each hand was just like, what the fuck?
I don't know what they were doing with that movie. He didn't have any character traits like Hallmark and Deadpool character traits, which is basically just, he's very um random. Uh, one thing that was kind of lacking though, but maybe not. Maybe the joke was just too tired. I think they touched upon it maybe twice in the first one, but was his love for oh my fucking god, the Golden Girl lady. Do you know what I'm talking about at all? Let's see. Oh, that's so sad. I forgot Betty White. B. Arthur. He he was like in love with her.
B. Arthur?
Yeah. So that's in the comics he would constantly reference how much he loved B. Arthur
Alright.
from Golden Girls,
Right.
like the elderly lady in
Yep.
it. And so I think in the first one he's wearing a shirt with her on it. I'm just trying to think of other main like character traits, like things that I remember from the comic. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. That's okay.
That's
Oh, so I want to bring us back though to the fourth wall thing. So, it just is like a mechanic. One of our favorite things, I would say, right, about the movie. I think the thing that works the best.
yeah. I think my favorite film about the movie, when I have to, if you said to me my favorite thing about the film, I wouldn't have been able to give you an answer. But talking about it, I think my favorite thing about the film is with how well it did the whole breaking the fourth wall thing. That's my favorite thing because that's what you think of when you think of Deadpool. They used actual references, like they used pop culture
Yeah.
references a lot, and
And
that's what made it so good as well.
it wasn't awful, and I don't think that. I mean, I'm sure at some point it'll be like, you know what? It's this. It's like even if the references are dated, it still is. It still works in the universe and with that character.
So
Does yeah.
moving on, we'll talk a little bit about uh, we'll do soundtrack. We'll touch on the soundtrack a little bit. Um,
Yeah. No, I'd like to.
so I did originally say, like, and sorry, I say originally, it's like as if I'm going to take back what I said, but no, I did after we watched that film. I messaged you and I said like I really enjoyed the soundtrack for this film, which I did. Um,
Mhm.
I think there's probably 3 or 4 songs in there that I didn't like the more upbeat ones weren't what I'm talking about. When I say soundtrack, I'm not talking about like the XCOM Give It To You, and I'm not talking about like the ones where it's like holy fuck balls, because there was a couple of those in there where it's just
Oh
like
yeah, the
holy fuck. I'm talking about
holy shit balls. Yeah.
yeah. When I say soundtrack, I'm talking about like the gems that are in there, like like I'm not sure how much of a gem they are, but like probably like 70s or 80s. But like there were some gems in there.
Yeah.
Um, how did you enjoy the soundtrack for the film?
Oh yeah, I did. I mean, definitely what you're talking about with like what did they play? In that opening when they play he says something. He says like he references Dolly Parton. He says something Dolly and like then they playing that 9 to 5 song
Yeah, yeah.
and it shows like the opening
That was,
montage.
and that for me was that was the first song, like
Yeah.
of I think that was the first song of the movie. I'm not too sure,
That's so good.
but yeah, that's the first thing that plays, and the scene that went with it as well, like because they did the opening credits to it there as well, didn't they?
Right before, yeah, cool, because they did kind of like a Bond
Yeah.
credit type thing. Was it after all that?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what I was. That's what I thought we was talking about. I
Yeah.
might be talking about the wrong thing.
Oh, sorry.
Because I was talking about like the song that went with the Bond credits. I thought that's what you was talking about.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, so that's what I want. That's what I really wanted to talk about though. Because it was Celine Dion.
Oh, the Dolly Parton thing. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
Where he
yeah. I'm
jumps
just
off of
talking
one
about like
building. He jumps off of one building and
yeah.
smashes through the window, and he goes, "Hit it, Dolly," or something like
Yes,
that.
yes, that. Yeah.
And yeah, there's 9 till 5 playing while he's beating up all the bad guys.
Yeah. I love stuff
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
that song
So,
first, and then there's the song afterwards, which is which is like it has like the Bond scene credits that are playing,
yes.
with the music over it as well.
Yeah. And so like that was I loved so much. I remember when I first heard about that they were doing like Celine Dion was gonna do a fucking song specifically for the movie. I was like, I was so pleased though, like, because I think it was the director. Yeah, okay, so the director and Ryan Reynolds asked Celine Dion to do like an original song for the movie, and so she did that song, and I mean, like by itself, it sounds so like, you wouldn't have guessed it would be part of that kind of movie,
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know
and
that.
that's
I
so
thought
fucking
I thought it was
solid. Yeah.
something like they took. It was just a song that was already made and they took it and put it in. But
No,
I didn't.
no,
I didn't
yeah.
know that they got Dolly Parton to make a song for the film. That's cool.
No, Celine Dion.
Not
So
Dolly
like,
Parton. Sorry, Celine Dion.
it's okay.
Sorry.
Because
Sorry.
I think they did when I first saw it. There was a music video. Um, it was this right here. Hold on, I'm just gonna send it to you. But uh, because I mean, when I think of Celine Dion, I think of fucking Titanic, you know.
Yeah.
But then they filmed this video. But like her dramatic singing, it's so serious and with the orchestra behind her, like it's amazing.
This looks good. I'm gonna. Oh my god, he's dancing on the stage. Is that
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds as well?
I don't know actually.
Oh my god, the way he's dancing. There's no way that's Ryan Reynolds in the
I don't
Deadpool
think
costume
so.
dancing like that.
No, I
In
think it's someone
stilettos.
else.
Those are
Let me
stilettos, aren't they? Or
see.
they're just
Oh
high
no,
heels.
yeah, they are, but it's someone else that they got to do it. But
It's
that's
funny
still
though.
amazing.
It's funny
Yeah,
though.
that's amazing.
It's funny that you've got Deadpool dressed up like that.
Yeah.
I mean not dressed up like that, but dressed up doing that is what I mean.
Yeah. It's played so sincerely. That's why I love it so much. It's
And yeah, you've got
it's
the
a great
orchestra in the
part of it.
background, and she's like, yeah, hardcore,
Yeah.
going at it,
Hmm.
doing a beautiful song. Bro,
Yep.
I know Deadpool is like, it's so on brand for me to say that I fucking love Deadpool. This is the thing, it's so on brand for me to say that I fucking love Deadpool. But like, I fucking love Deadpool. It's so good. You know,
Yeah.
I but like I will also sit here in the future and hopefully sit here and say, you know, I fucking love so and so, one of these hipster movies that we're going to sit down and watch. I mean, I've done it with the Jim Cumming films. Like I've sat down and gone, I
Yeah.
absolutely fucking loved them. They were great films, and I look forward to maybe rewatching them, especially Beta Test. I look forward to rewatching that at some point. Oh wait, no, I already have,
Yeah.
haven't I? I told you I watched it
I think
twice.
you did. Yeah, you
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
like it was so
I
good. I
mean, I'm
watched it
gonna
twice
rewatch
within the
those.
space of a
Yeah.
week of it. Um, and I know that you've rewatched it multiple times as well.
Yes.
But yeah, Deadpool being on brand for me to love it, it's because I'm all for those pop culture things, but the more we sit here and talk about it, the more reason there is to love it. It's not just because I'm not just saying I like it because it's a pop culture thing and because I'm a huge Deadpool fan. Um, do you? And I like really dig at it here because I'm sitting here saying that I love it so much. I'm just sitting
Hmm.
here. I'm like this whole conversation that we've had has just been talking about the film being good, right? But
Yeah.
do me a solid here
Okay.
with your little put your little grumpy hat on or whatever. I don't know.
Grumpy hat.
Pick at this film for me. Tell me
Oh
something
gosh.
that tell me what makes this film bad.
Oh, I'm sure I could find something.
It's fucking
Gosh,
pop
but I
culture.
don't.
That's why it sucks.
Don't. I mean, yeah, you could say that, right? But I mean, it's not. It knows what it is, and that's the tough thing about criticizing a movie like this, is that like it knows what it is, and it does that portion well. There's a lot of movies that are overly self-aware and almost pretentious, but like this movie has fun with that, and it can do that and not take
Yeah,
itself seriously, but it's not cringy, I guess. There's some cringy stuff in it, I guess. Yeah. I think, like we talked about it earlier with the Weasel's character and the stuff that he says. There are some parts in it, and this happens in a lot of comedy movies. And I think it primarily happened with his character, where they'll improv shit, and they'll just improv that whatever that sequence is, and then they'll put just one of the lines in there, and you can kind of tell when that happens when he speaks in this movie. And I don't like that in a lot of movies.
yeah. You can
Um,
tell that what he's doing is sort of like forced improv, right? You
yeah,
can
like
tell that it's him trying to stand there and be funny.
what was I saying? I feel like I
And
was on a good thing here.
I feel like that is so shit. There's no reason for that microphone to be doing that either. Well, I'm glad I haven't got it.
I'm just gonna switch to this for now. Does that sound awful?
Nope, not at all.
I'm just gonna use this for now, and then I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the port. Is it happening again?
No,
No.
not at all. It's not happening here.
Okay. I don't know if it's the port. That would be weird. I don't know anything about computers, but I have an issue with one of these ports over here, and I don't know if the one I plugged it into is for something.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. So where were we? We were
We
talking
was
about things,
talking
the
about
grumpy hat, and talking about things that we didn't like, right?
yeah. So, let's try and move into that again and just start from the beginning.
Sure.
Where was
Because
we
I was talking about
before?
the improv thing. It was the improv thing about like it being sort of forced. And
Yeah.
what's that actor's name? God dang it.
Are you talking about Weasel's name?
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know. It's whatever. I don't want to keep talking about him. I feel like in the first one it was worse. In this one it wasn't as bad. But the moments where it did happen. And then I feel like some of the stuff with the girl, some of the like stuff that she says is sort of forced
When you say the
to
girl,
be.
do you mean Domino or do you mean
No, sorry.
the
No,
one that's in the
what is
relationship
her
with?
name? Vanessa? Is it Vanessa? Is that his girlfriend? His
Oh, you
fiance?
mean Vanessa? Oh, okay.
like some of like the Star Wars references and shit like that is sort I don't know. It I don't know what the word would be. I guess it's like it's very they didn't add a lot of depth to her character.
Right. So when you see her
Y-
doing it, you just sort of like,
It
not,
just
you
sort of
just don't
seems
understand it.
well, it's yeah, it's sort of like I mean, you know that she's supposed to be like different than other girls, you know, and interesting to him.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of scenes where that's apparent, but then there's a lot of like some of the dialogue is just very like, well, she didn't need to say that. It's not very funny. But it's the same thing as like that other weasel. Like it's not very funny. Like I don't know. Like it was just added on to like double down on whatever joke they're trying to push through. And those are the only things I think are sort of weak about it. When I first think about it, I don't think that it's too busy of a film, either of them really. I'm trying to think of things that are really awful because I think it is with this type of movie. It's just it is what it is. It doesn't try to be anything more than what it presents itself to be. I guess
Honestly, if you're listening to the VOD right now, do us a favour, hit us up in the comments section, tell us what the least favourite thing about this film is. Wrapping it up though, if you don't mind, let's talk for a little bit
Okay.
about the film and how it fits into the theme that we have. So the theme is obviously, as I mentioned at the start of the podcast, the theme for January is unconventional romance. And I think we spoke about this a bit in the plot, to be honest. We spoke about how it fits
Yeah.
in when we spoke about the plot. But yeah, how does this fit into this theme that we have?
I mean, mostly in just the character, I guess, right? So, um, and you see more of it maybe in the first one. That's the crappy part is like when we were trying to approach this and do series do the series. How how should we go about that? We're not going to watch both. That's a lot of time to sink
Well,
into it, right?
I think you chose a good choice here. Like, I know that
Okay.
you sound like you're doubting yourself on what choice you've made. Uh, the unconventional love, I'd say, and you said this to me on Discord before as well. You know,
Hmm.
there's I don't know if the word is romance. It's not romance. It's love. Like, it's the love between, you get the love between him and his girlfriend. You get
Yeah.
the awkward love, or the awkward sort of romance between him and Colossus. You
Yes.
get the sort of bond that you see build between him and Cable. To talk about unconventional romance, it's definitely there. Um, it's the sort of love that you end up seeing Deadpool form for all of these people that are close to him, and it, you don't really think of Deadpool as that type of character usually, at least from my
Yeah.
perspective. Uh, so yeah, I think that fits perfectly into the theme for January. Um,
Okay.
so if you've listened to us for this long, thanks for listening. Uh, we'll be
Do we
back
want to
at
list
it
the other
again.
movies that we're going to talk about though this month?
Yeah, we can do.
I
So
mean, if you'd like, yeah.
for the next podcast that you'll be listening to, we will be talking about Punch Drunk Love, because we have watched both of these films. We watched Deadpool and Punch Drunk Love in the same week, and then what we're going to do is do the podcast. Um, but for the other two films that we're going to be watching in January, and also giving you podcasts and giving you our point of views, and an hour plus hour and a half discussion on how we feel about the film, and a couple of tangents here and there, if that's what you're here for. We're also going to be watching Drive and Love Exposure.
Okay, but I do want to say Love Exposure may be tentative. I don't know. I don't know if you have it in you.
I think
Just saying.
because here's the thing, I don't have the list that you have in front of me. Obviously, I have a list in front of me that says all of the films that we're watching,
Yeah.
but you have a list in front of you that says everything we're watching and the order that we're watching it in. So when I messaged you and I said, "Are we watching Love Exposure?" the reason is just because it's at the top of the list. Like,
Right, right.
that's the only
No,
reason. But
no.
when I messaged you and said that, you messaged me back and was like, "Oh, do you just want to get the long one out the way?" Or like, I think your response
Well,
was, "Oh, do you want to
because
just get that one out the
so
way?" or
the
something.
reason why I've been like on about that is because like that movie is my favorite movie of all time. Of all time.
Okay.
I'm a huge movie nerd. That's my favorite movie of all time. So I'm very serious about it, but I'm also very like I'm very protective of it, and I don't know what the word would be. I get embarrassed because it's a very long movie, and I think I've recommended it to you before, and you were like, no, because I'm like, it's 4 hours long,
Oh
and you're
right.
like, I'm not doing that,
Oh
and
wow.
so I
So I
snuck
just
it onto this list again,
okay.
and so I don't know if we're gonna have to split it up because it's a movie that I would never want anyone to split up. Um,
No, we're gonna do it.
I
That's how
okay,
we roll with
okay,
this.
I'm challenging you
It's not even a
because I think
challenge.
it's
I've
worth
done
it.
a 4 hour film before. It's just like
Okay, no, but I'm just saying.
I watched the Schneider, is it the Snyder cut of Justice League?
Oh
But I
wow,
think that's
okay.
only 3 hours, isn't it? That's not even
I don't know, maybe.
Snyder cut Justice League uh, length 4 hours 2 minutes.
Okay. Oh wow.
Um,
It,
and I've also I've sat and done
no.
back to back films before as well.
But just then a quick thing too. Just so that's this month. Upcoming theme. What next month is drugs. Just
Drugs.
drugs.
Yep, just drugs.
Drugs.
And I'm looking forward to
Let's
next
see.
month because
I am too.
there's there's um there's two or three. There's three. There are three of the categories that we have that have two films in them that I've watched. So we've got February with drugs. I've seen Wolf of Wall Street and I've seen Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I'm looking forward to that month is because we get to touch up on some films that I know that I enjoyed before.
Yeah.
We've got May, which is multiple personality plots. I've seen Fight Club and Split, and I know of Black Swan being a good film. I haven't seen Black Swan, but I know of it being good.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that month because, as you
Well,
said, you
spoilers
absolutely
though.
love.
Sorry, but yes.
Yeah, I know
Anyway.
spoilers, but we are
Yeah.
talking about
Yes.
everything. You've already said today that Fight Club's one of your favorite films, one of your favorite
Yes.
films, right?
Yeah. It is. It
So
really is.
I'm looking forward to it because you get to watch one of your favorites, um, and Fight Club is something that I know of. And Split I've seen recently, so I'm really looking forward to Split because I say I love, and then I can't even think of his name. Young
Remember
Patrick
the main
Stewart,
guy, James McAvoy.
James McAvoy, young Patrick Stewart.
He's really really good in that movie. I don't even really think that movie is that great, but his performance in that movie is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
So
his performance as well. Just to say, I just want to say this. I think that his
yes,
performance was also really good in Glass, but Glass sucked.
I didn't see it. I think I tried to watch it and I just got bored.
Yeah, Glass absolutely sucked, but
Yeah.
he still did a really damn good job of playing the character.
Yeah. So, and then for me, I think what I'm looking forward to the genre shift one, just
Genre Shift,
because I think,
November, right?
yeah, I think that those will be just fun ones to view. I don't know if you've seen any of those, but I think that'll be really interesting.
Yeah, no, I didn't highlight any of those.
Yeah.
Um,
One that I'm a little anxious about though is God, it's coming up in April, right? Downer endings.
oh,
I'm
do you know what?
scared. What?
I'm looking forward to Downer Endings
Are you
because
really?
Downer
I know. Well,
Endings
you were
is
the
one
one
of
who
the ones
suggested it,
that
actually.
suggested. Oh yeah, it's the one I
Yeah.
suggested, right? Um,
Yeah.
the two that I'm looking forward to as well. I know I've already said three that I'm looking
Hmm.
forward to, but another two that I'm looking forward to to counter exactly what you just said. I'm looking forward to Downer Endings because I love them. Um,
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
and I'm looking forward to Death Games as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Because who doesn't love a good death game, right?
It's like one of my favorite genres.
I'm so hyped to rewatch Battle Royale after the last time I saw it being 15 years ago.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to watching the other three that I haven't seen. I haven't seen Running Man, 13 Zametti, or As the Gods Will.
Yep.
The one I'm not looking forward to,
Uh-oh.
and it's not I'm not looking forward to it because I think it's going to suck. The
Right.
reason I'm not looking forward to it is because we're doing Racism is Fucking Terrible during the Christmas period. Like
I know.
Christmas,
It was random.
the
It
whole,
was random.
like with how happy you want Christmas to be, and I just, and we're gonna be sitting there and doing Django and 12 Years a Slave, and I'm just like, damn, this is gonna. This is gonna pull on this. This is gonna pull on the strings a
Django
bit.
came out, I think, around that time though. So
All right.
yes.
Yeah, like I say, it's not. I'm not looking forward to that because I think the genre is going to suck. That's going to be a really good genre, and I think that was
It's
another
just
one that I suggested, right? The
yeah.
racism
It
genre.
is. Yeah. So
Um,
this is a tough topic, right? So
yeah, because it's nice
it'll
to hit
be.
the tough topics.
I think so. I think it's gonna be no, I think it's gonna be really interesting. I'm almost like I don't know. I'm almost too eager about it though. Like I'm like I just want to watch them all now. You know, but I think it's gonna be fun. And
Cool.
I'm looking forward to how it goes. And to what Wednesday? Our next one. And then
Yep, our
to
next one
editing
will be
this and
recording on
uploading it.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
To wrap it up for good this time, thank you to anybody for listening. If you haven't already put a comment in the comment section, leave a comment. Tell us what you thought. It's been great having you here listening. It's been great sitting here and talking to you, Danielle.
You as well,
Watching some
Matt.
great films. Go watch Deadpool 2. Whoever's listening, go watch Deadpool 2.
Yeah,
Have fun watching it.
It's wholesome. It's a very wholesome film.
It's very wholesome. It's a family film.
Genuinely.
Go get the wife and kids. Sit down and watch Deadpool 2 together.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to the Sister City Committee
Thank
podcast.
you.
We love you. Bye bye.
We do. Yes.
That was so cringe. Wait, no. That's so cringe. Leave this
That's
bit in.
no,
That's so cringe. We don't
sorry.
fucking love you. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Wow.